Okay, so here we are for another replay, this time featuring the Tier 10 British medium tank, the Centurion Action X. We are on the proc with platooned up with Big Rossi, and there is no enemy fun police, which obviously transforms the map and makes it so much more enjoyable to play. The Centurion Action X is a tank. It's not the best medium anymore. You know, there's so many more mediums now which have come out which probably outclass the Centurion Action X. However, it's still a solid tank. It's one of those tanks. It's sort of an old favourite of mine, which I do really enjoy. I'm a little bit biased towards the British mediums, but it's just a solid tank. It's got a decent gun, fantastic gunners in terms of hitting your shots, great accuracy, decent APCR standard rounds. Then you've got those heat pen. And it does have turret armour, it's 10 degrees under pressure, and you can use your turret armour. What I'd say about the turret is you can block shots, but it's definitely not reliable. It's not like you're not like poking in a chieftain or a valor turret. You can bounce shots, but a lot of the big high caliber tank destroyer guns and stuff like that are just going to go straight through it. So don't expect to always bounce your shots. It's just that you can bounce shots off of your turret. So we're here on proc, we're using this position, which is obviously good to us because you've got the gun suppression and you don't have to worry about getting slapped by the fun police straight through the engine deck. We can just look for the shots and try and expose ourselves for as little as possible. There's clearly a lot of tanks down the 1-2 line which we've got shots on. We're spotting them as well because the Action X does have decent view range. And obviously we're running the optics to extend that to as best we can and try and pick up those assistance damage. We picked up sort of 1,300. I think we are sharing that with someone as well, because I didn't really get any off of that Type 5. We do eat one then in return from this Paladin, but we're finding it a little bit awkward. Ideally I'd like to be in the position where Rossi is now, but we can't obviously both use that position, and obviously Rossi is making good use of it at the moment, so I'm just going to try and relocate to a different angle, see if I can get shots in. The problem is from where I am now is I'm poking up quite high. It's good for getting shots at this Paladin, but I can potentially get shot at from like the train track and stuff like that. The rock does keep me a little bit protected, but yeah, it's easier for the enemy team to get shots in. There you go. So there's one shot which just goes straight through the front of our turret, and yeah, we do lose a bit of hit points. That's what I mean. You can't rely on completely blocking all the shots off of your turret in the Centurion Action X, but you can. You are able to bounce the odd shot. It's just a lot of those big guns you're going to struggle. So here I'm going to look for more shots again, but like I say, I am having to poke a little bit too high here. I'm exposing myself a lot to the tanks on the right, so it's a little bit risky, but I am just trying my best to look for the shots. I wanted to kill this heavy on the left. Now this is a mistake because I overextended to kill the Paladin. I shouldn't have done it, and then I got slapped and punished for it. But I wanted to kill the Paladin just because it was a kill, but it wasn't really worth it. The E6 got him in the end. I should have just left that kill and then I would have had a bit more hit points to play with. But it is what it is. I'm still in the game. I've just got to be a bit more careful now because it's a game we are starting to win. It's 13-10, but it's definitely not won. But we are in a strong position. So we're looking to try and get as many shots as we can. We picked up 3,300 assistance. I'm thinking right now, it's not working for me in this 1-2 area. I'm just going to go across and see if I can get any shots on the enemy teams pushing the hill, because they might be caught out in the open here, and then I might be able to farm some damage. So we've got this enemy tank here on the right on this T-57. If I got there a bit earlier, I probably would have got a bit more damage out of that, but we do pick up the kill anyway. And now we're just going to see if we can try and work over this G-saw, get any shots in into side. Unfortunately, just moves as I fired, and we do miss that shot. But we do, spot on that enemy TD as well. So maybe they'll be able to get some, from the tanks on the hill, might be able to get a few shots onto them. But I suspect they're a little bit distracted by this Polish medium, which is obviously probably keeping them proxy spotted. So I'm trying to work a different angle, trying to see if we can get any shots in to take out the splits in front of us. We then spot this G-saw and this Dragon. Now they're sitting right in the open, and I'm thinking it's definitely possible for them to get shot from the hill. I know it's possible, but you're obviously just not paying attention. So I'm surprised at the moment that they're not getting shot and I'm not picking up the assistance from them. But we are going to keep poking to try and get the shots in. We get one into Dragon as he approaches us. Now it looks like the Dragon's going to full send us, but he gets set on fire and we're able to take him out. And we don't have to worry about that. We do have to worry about the G-Saw coming in, but thankfully he's not focusing firing on us because he could have clipped us out. But we get one in, they get completely taken out, and now this game's looking like the enemy team is surrounded. It's not going to go well for them. So we get one there into Blitzer, and we swap to the Heat just so we can try and shoot them into the turret and not have to expose ourselves too much. But really, to be honest, I probably should have just gone in because it's only these two tanks remaining. The one on the left in the 3 lines distracted, and we just really now got this one enemy tank on the hill, the CS63. I mean, it's all 10 versus 1. So we're not going to lose this game now. I mean, that would be one hell of a game if he wins all 10 versus 1, but I don't think it's going to happen. We can eat one shot off the C63, so I'm just full sending it as quickly as we can to get over there and see if we can get any shots in before he gets taken out. I'm thinking as long as he doesn't poke too high on the ridge, we are going to be able to get the shots in now. But unfortunately, he does poke too high and he gets absolutely obliterated by the enemy team, and we wasn't able to get any more shots in. But we do pick up a little bit more assistance, and we end that game with 3 kills, 4,000 damage, 3,600 assistance. The ace tanker, admittedly quite a low ace tanker, and yeah, Rossi has a big game as well. So that is it for replay number 1. I will see you shortly for replay number 2. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2 on Dragon Ridge. There's 1 enemy fun place, 2 enemy light tanks, and we are platooned up with our good friend tanks in this one. Dragon Ridge, don't like it. Yeah, I think I've said this before, well, pretty much every time I get Dragon Ridge, because yeah, I'm not a fan, to be honest with you. I would say this is, if I am going to have to play Dragon Ridge, I would prefer this spawn, because quite often you can push down the sort of 3-4 and get cross shots at the camping tanks. But overall, it's not a tank, it's not a map I really like. Now this light tank is full sended, not too sure what happened with that shot, get pretty unlucky. It seems to be a very, very lucky light tank there, playing very aggressively. So we're going to go for a second shot, try and get a socket shot in. And then again, yeah, not too sure what happened with that shot either. And then we get hit by the fun place, but I guess it could have been worse. So very, very lucky light tank. Not the perfect start to the game, if I'm honest. But at least I guess I got 100 assistance. But yeah, not the best start. So we're looking to try and get to a position where we can get cross shots on any of the tanks. And at least, you know, that's what I was planning on doing. But as I'm approaching, I've noticed that there is a few tanks playing very aggressively down the 1 line, and I'm hoping maybe I'll be able to get a few cheeky shots on this ridge into them. But I'm going to quickly poke to see, yeah, these are the cross shots I was talking about. We've got one into the Object 265, but now we're lit, we've got to be very careful, because obviously if I can shoot them, they can shoot me. IS-7 is playing, you know, ultra aggressive. We get one in, but he's now behind a rock where we can't shoot. But he is also kind of pinned there, to be honest with you. So he's going to struggle to get out of that position without getting absolutely punished. But then I guess his friend in the IS-7 and Object 260 come out. It seems to be a rush by the Russian heavy tanks there. But we get another one into his lower plate, and yeah, we manage to block one in return. So to be honest with you, if I'm going to play Dragon Ridge, if we're going to get into a brawl, into a bit of a battle, it's going to be a lot more enjoyable. Well, it goes the same with any map really. So that IS-7 did get punished. He is on a 1 shot. And now this other IS-7, to be honest, he's just crossing. I'm going to try and get the track wheel shot, but just as I was about to shoot the track wheel shot, the Object 430 drove in front of me to get their shot in. But he gets tracked in place, and then we're able to pick up the kill and a bit more damage, putting us at 2,500 damage and 800 assistance. Potential 1 shot for us, and yeah, unfortunately we don't roll quite high enough, but we don't take any damage in return. So we're going to look to get the kill, but then this chisel pokes up, so we thought we'd get another, get more damage off into the chisel. We should be able to get another shot into the chisel, but he's getting farmed by the friendly machine now. And then, yeah, he's caught in a really awkward situation and gets taken out. And this is one of those games where it's going to be, the enemy team have played very aggressively, but we've punished them. And, yeah, we're quickly going to be up on numbers. We've got the AMX 30B. I want to try and poke a shot, but I don't really know what's covering them, so I've got to be a bit careful. We get one in, but we eat one as well. Damages our ammo rack, so we repair that straight away. We don't want to get ammo racked. Like, so I get targeted as I poke around there, so I don't know if that's either the fun police or tanks covering them, so I've got to be a little bit careful. We're looking to see if we can get any more shots in. We try and shoot from there, unfortunately we miss it. The fun police was aiming on at us. Obviously now we would have known that with the artillery indicator, but we don't have that at the moment. But yeah, we managed to just try, and what we're going to try and do is relocate, see if we can get different shots into the MX-30, but it looks like he's kind of getting rushed by our friendly machine, and yeah, he's taking a lot of hits there. We're looking at, hopefully we can try and finish him off. We aim for the turret, get a bit unfortunate with that bounce, I'd say, and this game is just suddenly, it's just turned, and now it's just one of them games where they're not really that fun when I prefer to play a game where it's even all the way out, but you don't always get them, and this isn't one of them. We are just sort of fighting for our damage at this point, just trying to push as quickly as we can now to get as much out of the game. We've had an okay game. We've got 5,000 damage, 800 assistance. There's a bar left, and there's a fun place where we know exactly where they are now, but the bar is going to have more hit points. Obviously in the new update patch, the fun place will have a lot more hit points to farm at the end of the game. So we're going to try and get some shots into this bar, and it looks like they're running, so I'm suspecting they're not going to be looking at us, and at this point I'm just going to go straight in and hope for the best, just to try and get any more damage out of the game before it's over. We get one in, and now the only thing left to do is going to get destroyed, so we're just going to have to go straight in for that ram. We give him a little bit of damage, and then we pick up the kill in the end, so it worked out okay. And it's just one enemy fun police left in the game. Like I say, it's been one of them stomps. It's not the biggest games in these two replays in the Centurion Action X, but I had them saved up, and I felt like I wanted to just take space on the hard drive. I wanted to get them out for you. And yeah, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed them. Let's just get to the end of the scoreboard, and we can see how we did. So we picked up 4 kills, 5,500 damage, 1,500 assistance. We get the ace tanker again. They are very low ace tanker, but it's an old tank, it's been in the game a long time. And yeah, again, thank you so much for the support, and as always, happy tanking.
Hadouken!